Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
Okay.
All right, we are live.
Hello. Oh, you
Hello.
can definitely hear the AC in the background.
My AC?
Mine.
Oh, I can hear my AC, but I don't know if you can.
I can see it. I can see it in my little bar on GarageBand. So
Mm.
anybody that's like, what is that noise? It's the AC. You're just going to have to live with it. It's 90 degrees outside. Okay. Hello. We're live.
Hello. Yes.
Yes. Hi, Ryan.
Hi. Hello.
Hello. What's happening? What's the word? What's the nitty gritty?
Autumn's on my lap. She's already bothering me. Hopefully, she's a good cat today and not getting all over shit. Um. Yeah. So let's see. Monday, a little out of the ordinary with our recording day, but let's see. I did an interview, like a radio interview earlier today for the Backyard Craft Show. I did that.
Oh.
So that should it was like a group interview with Matt and Amruta for Louisville Public Media. So that was pretty fun. It was kind of like,
That's cool.
she was asking about, the origins of the show, like what is different about it compared to other shows in the city and like bigger shows, and why Matt and Amrita enjoy doing a show like this versus the other ones, and yeah, so kind of giving them different reasons to check it out and all that stuff. Because this is
That'll
our
be
fifth
good.
year doing it.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there, which is a bummer, but here we are.
Yeah, I didn't think you were going to. When we were telling you schedules and stuff, I was like, I don't think she's gonna end up doing it, because plus you were kind of iffy about shows and stuff, but
Yeah,
not that you wouldn't
I'm
have
like,
liked to hang out and all that.
right, and also I got to Indiana slash the middle of the country almost 2 months before I did last year than I did this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's like,
But where were you at all
I
the way up
feel like
until
I'm,
July? You're saying July or August? You didn't even get over here till August last year?
no, the other way. I got there, remember I got there for NCECA, and I was in Cincinnati for NCECA in March. And so I had all of April, all of May
Oh,
in
I gotcha.
Indy.
Yeah.
And I was like working that whole time. And this year, I didn't work at all during May and the first part of June.
Hmm. So did that like hit you harder because the weather is so hot? You kind of showed up right in the thick of it rather than
There's an
like getting
acclimation
accustomed to it.
stage. There is an acclimating stage for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
So,
see how the show is this weekend. She even asked me, how do what do you plan for the show? How's it, with the heat going to be pretty bad? Um, I was talking about, hey, there's outlets by each person's booth, so if they want to hook up fans or whatnot, they can. I'm gonna get two industrial fans that are 42-inch wide fans that you can put, and I don't know if that's gonna help, but hopefully it'll help. It'll help a little bit.
yeah. Airflow definitely helps when it's hot. So,
Yeah, We've had it pretty hot before. We've shifted the date every now and then. I mean, we've had it in the very end of July. We've had it. I want to say August, but I don't think we've ever had it
we
into
did have
August.
it in August.
Did we?
I remember it was so flippin' hot. It was. I remember because that's the conversation that we had with your dad, and you were like hucking things like you had the longest trip to your car, and you were sweating so bad, and I was like, Ryan,
It
just take
looks
your
like
shirt off.
it looks
And
like we've never had it in August. From my
okay, then it
calendar it
must have been
says
July.
July 25th, July
That one.
24th. Yeah, I think it was
Yeah.
July 24th. I think it was the second year we did it, maybe.
Yeah, and I was like, Ryan, why don't you just take your shirt off? And then Carl goes, I'd fucking take my shirt off. I take my shirt off when I'm on the lawn. I take my shirt off all the time. And, and
Yes.
if I didn't love Carl more, like if I didn't love him already, that was when it just really elevated. It just elevated the experience for me.
And then 2022 we moved it because it was so we were like, okay, we'll keep it the same weekend. So the first 2 years we kept it, we were just like, okay, let's just go with consistency, keep it same weekend. So
Yeah.
hot second year, and then we moved it up, so June 11th. So not too bad. It's kind of close to when it is now. And then we did June 17th last year, so it's slightly later than that this year. We had some scheduling stuff with my parents and. Whew. Yeah. It's a lot.
This year, I'm really curious about this year and temperatures. But back to the Backyard Craft Show. That's great. I hope you do just as well as you've done in every Backyard Craft Show.
I hope so too. I always doubt that people are gonna like show up because the only. I mean, I feel a little. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't feel as bad about not promoting it as much on my own social media all the time. Like, I feel like there's so many irons in the fire constantly that I can't just focus on advertising for one thing, but it is the thing that I'm hosting, so I feel like I should be doing more. But
you do a lot. I mean, you put all that money towards advertising on Facebook, and
yeah, I mean, we end up spending about $300 or $350 on Facebook ads. And then, there's those other things of, buying this yard signs. We got 3 more yard signs this year, and I got some more yard signs that I'm going to use for my holiday show. So it's a little more official, but yeah, it kind of just builds over time. And last year we did some 4x6 postcards, but we don't do a ton of show. Like, I don't have a lot of shows in Louisville. So it feels a little weird to be giving out postcards in Cincinnati. And then when you have ones left over, you're like, what, why do we even get this if we're going to have, half of them left? But,
your
yeah,
parents should put one at the church that they go to or something,
I don't know. Yeah. We usually have some of those folks come by anyways. But, I think like the yard signs in the neighborhood help. It's just kind of it's just back to old school marketing, honestly. It's like going to different Facebook group pages that are in the neighborhood or close by, and there's some local magazines that we could probably get into that we didn't advertise this year. There's one kind of like a neighborhood close to us. So, and then we just hope that the media, we can get 2 or 3 news stories that reach out to talk about it. So
yeah,
it's not a huge outing, but 200 or 300 people, maybe 300. But
listen, I've had shows that were fucking killer with 300 people. So
I mean, I had home shows where I have 25 people come through over 2 days, and I still sell like $1,500. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah.
But it's good.
That's great. I'm excited to hear how it goes. But you are also, I'm not going to talk to you for 3 weeks almost because you're
going on vacation.
Going on vacay. Tell everybody where you're going.
So we are going to Spain and Portugal. We're flying to Barcelona. We'll be there for 3 days, and then we're going to Madrid for a couple days. And then we're flying over to Porto, which is in Portugal. It's like northern Portugal. We'll be there for a couple days. And then we're going to finish up in Lisbon for 3 days. And then we'll head back.
Nice. That's going to be awesome.
Yep. Should be pretty good. We'll see. I haven't been to any of those. Rachel's been to Spain before, but not Portugal. But we keep hearing good things about Portugal from friends of ours that go. And, Rachel's got all the flight folks that travel a lot. And They always say Portugal's like really nice, so
Yeah,
that should be good.
for sure.
I don't really study up on like the language and stuff, so I didn't really do much work there, but you know, well, I feel like if any language I can get a little bit is Spanish, but you know, it was kind of fun being at Isaac and Karina's because they speak Spanish to one another, and then she
Yeah.
speaks to Javi in Spanish, so I kind of was able to grasp some of it as I was going there. I could like, you know, ask them, hey, what did you say there? Or what was that word? Because I can kind of piece it together, but I don't know, like out in public and stuff in Spain, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that, but
Yeah.
it'll be
Just
fun.
get a
though.
little liquor, and it'll all come back to you.
Yeah. It was fine in Italy. It wasn't that bad, honestly.
Yeah. Most people can do like at least. I mean, there's Google Translate if all else fails. Honestly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to hear something a little funny? So Melissa, I'm at the Beals house right now,
Mhm.
and Melissa Beal is like a baby enthusiast. Like she loves babies, so much. And she was saying how cute Isaac's baby is. She's like, I just can't get enough of this kid. And she's so stinking cute. She's like, she's got like a full head of hair.
Yep.
And so I was like, I'll see if Isaac can start sending you daily pictures. And she was like, I would love that.
Yep.
So Isaac, if you're listening, Melissa would like daily pictures of the kid with a full head of hair and the chubby cheeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rachel was like,
I also
look at her. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, she's adorable. I also saw 2 baby deers. So fawn? No. Fawn? Does?
Doe. I think doe.
I think it's fawn.
Doe, a deer, a female deer.
Yeah, a female deer. A doe is a fawn. A
Baby
young deer
name.
in its first year.
Calf or fawn. Yeah.
Fawn. I saw 2 fawns today. They were so little and so stinking cute. Ugh. Baby deers. So cute. Anyway. Yeah.
What's going on with you? Are you doing anything since you've been there? I mean, you've only been there
I
a
got a
couple
lot.
days, but
I got a lot to say. First of all, it's 90 degrees out here and not crazy humidity yet. It's getting there, but it's punching me in the face. I'm doing pretty good, but I bought a tent. I told you I was going to buy this tent a while ago.
I saw that tent. Yeah.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah. It looks like a little outdoor. It kind of looks
Hut.
like for a cat, but yeah.
Yeah. It's got screens on it, and it's pretty buggy up here. So the screens are nice. You don't need them during the day, but at night I'll need them. And it's got 6 sides, and 2 sides unzip, and it folds up into like 3 inches by like 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So I can just like throw it in the back of the van and continue on my way. I also got a fan that is a USB powered fan, and it is so cool, and it works really well.
How long does it last?
It's only 4 watts, so it depends on how much power you have.
USB. Oh, it has to stay plugged in, or you charge it by USB.
It stays plugged in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
So
kind
you
of
just have like a
over
rechargeable battery or reusable battery that's up there with it?
power station.
Oh,
Yeah, line it. Yeah, I got those, and I got mics for when I do classes, like my online teaching. So gonna start doing that.
I just heard mice. I thought you said mice.
Mics.
I'm like, you got
M-I-C.
mice, so you can give Lloyd some toys to play with?
Nope, mics, like a microphone. Lloyd has caught, so far up here, he's on 4 voles or 3 voles?
Moles?
Voles, Voles. It's
What is
like
that?
a little mole. It's a little mole. So,
Oh, every time I see you type that, I think you're accidentally misspelling it, and I'm like, is she trying to say mole? Because I don't know what that word is.
nope, it's a vole. Vole.
Now I'm gonna Google this.
Yeah, they're just like, they don't have the paddles. They just have little hands. They're like mice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what your parents have. So, anyway, I'm pretty positive there's been at least 6 kills while we're here, but I haven't found them. I've thrown 4 into the forest, I think.
Oh my gosh. It says her lifespan is only about 1 year. Jeez.
So anyway, Lloyd's having the time of his goddamn life, but it's hot, so that he's not loving that. But yeah, so it's been going good. I got a little camp set up. I got my wheel is going to be set up. I think I'm going to take the legs off and just put it on a table. I got my solar situation set up. I feel like I'm in a very good position. I took a shower for the first time in a week.
That's great.
We're doing great.
Do you think you're gonna evolve to have an outdoor shower temporarily thing?
100%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
How do you keep it? How would you keep it where it's not like? Because you probably wouldn't want to do it like on grass because it'd probably get like kind of nasty. I feel like you want to be on like a flat piece of something that's nice.
I have a rug. I could do it on a rug or like a outdoor rug, so it's plastic.
Yeah.
Or I could just buy a piece of wood or something. But yeah, I haven't even moved my van in 7 days. Okay, like the van has except from like one part of the little spot to the other part. Like made my
did you
little
shift it because
tent.
of where the sun's at or something?
Yeah, I like, but I'm like, I'm treating this like being out in the forest and not talking to anybody. I come down once a day to use the bathroom here and to like say hi, and then maybe another time, but that's it. And so
I'm guessing it's all walkable, but it's still like private.
yeah, I mean, it's probably like a quarter mile. It's 6 acres, so it's like up the berm. But I told Melissa, I was like, I'm going to get so skinny this summer from sweating my ass off and walking these fucking hills. I'm like I'm going to have so much fucking exercise going. Like,
Yeah, that's just exhausting. Jeez.
Yeah, and I have to like make sure that I walk down here without Lloyd seeing me. So I usually walk the long way because if he sees me, he'll follow me. But if he doesn't see me, he'll just stay where he's up there.
Because
Yeah.
they have pets down there too, or what? You don't want the pets
yeah.
interacting?
Yeah, so last year, I don't know if you remember, but last year, Lloyd got in a fight with the neighbor cat, and then the neighbor cat's owner was slightly intoxicated.
Oh, that was the guy.
Yep, and told me, thankfully, amends have been made. He's a really nice guy. He was like, I'm sorry about that. And I was like, it's all good. Apparently, he was having a year. But he told me that he kicked Lloyd like a soccer ball. He didn't. He just told me that. And but Lloyd like went past their garage and saw their cat Salem, who's an outdoor cat, and ran into the garage to attack Salem. Let's keep in mind that Lloyd is the offender. Like, he's the asshole in this situation.
Yeah, he's intruding on foreign territory.
Yeah, so that's why I had to get the whole like GPS tracker for him. I got the tracker. It's called Tractive, and it works okay. The battery life is awful, but yeah, I have like a zone that says like Salem, and so if he goes in that zone, it like alerts me so I can go find him. But
oh, that's good.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that's all my updates.
Okay. The only other update that I had, kind of sad news, but it's okay. It kind of worked out, actually. So I was supposed to have my first Soda Fire workshop this week, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up, so there were 2 people that signed up. One person was local, one person was from Chicago. And then there was a student from NKU that was like potentially, like, she didn't have enough stuff to put in, but she had maybe like one thing.
Yeah.
I told her to bring it and like put it in there just anyways because I had space. It turned out the one woman from Chicago area couldn't get her bisque done in time, so
Mm.
and then the other local person, I was like, hey, it's only gonna be the two of us. Like, I would prefer to postpone this so it can be more the experience that I want from it, not just like me and one other person. So
Yeah.
I think that's better anyways, but yeah, timing with this is quite interesting. I was going to do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday because I'm off on Wednesday for Juneteenth, like our company gives it off. So I was just like, oh, well, I'll just take the day before and day after off and just do it that week. But, you know, scheduling during the week is less flexible for some people. Weekend would be better. So I think I'm going to do another one that's going to be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And hopefully further out so people have enough time. You know, it's a little iffy with some people of, you know, oh, do you have control of your bisqueware? Do you not? Do you fire somewhere else? Are you going to make something specifically for the firing? So, you know, I didn't really give enough time to give people, you know, there were a couple of things working against me with the timing and the day of the week. So we'll make
Yeah.
it better, and we'll have a date plenty far in advance and allow people to join that way. So
I have something to say because this will come out like right before it, but I might actually add it into one of our other podcasts, by the way. Because I'm in it. We have at the Beals, they're having a summer camp, an adult pottery summer camp from, I want to say the July 15th through the 27th. And
starts on a
It's gonna be-
Monday, huh? It's
I
like
think so.
2
It's-
full weeks.
yeah, it's going to be a blast. And you don't have to like come every day. There's like individual workshops daily. You can go to bealpottery.com and but it's cool. I'm hosting 2 workshops. I'm doing a beginner workshop and then a jewelry workshop. This one's going to be better than the last time because I have a plan. And
Are they all like short workshops? So you're just coming in for like 2 hours and learning
3
something?
hours, yeah. 3 hours and learning something. So if you're up in Chicago, Illinois, like somewhere in the Illinois area,
South
yep,
Bend.
Northern Indiana, Goshen, Southern Michigan, maybe in the Michigan area, and you want to join, you should come because it's going to be a lot of fun. And on the last day, on the 27th, we're going to have like a party at the end that'll have like, we're going to have clay Olympics and have judging of
Yeah.
them. And
Is it? Can they sign up for just individual classes, or is it
Yeah.
like a package deal? Okay.
No, and like Justin Rawshank is going to do a workshop, and Heidi's going to do a workshop, Eric's going to do one, Melissa, I'm going to do a workshop, Cody, I forget
Moser.
his last name, Moser, is going to do a workshop, and yeah, I think there's like 2 other people, but
So there's like a couple workshops a day. Is that kind of the way it's organized, or
I don't know. You're going to have to look at the website.
okay? Because hopefully, if they come in town, they can get, you know, a few hours to learn some things besides just one thing. But
And it's like right next to the Indiana National Dunes Park, Indiana Dunes National Park. So it's like a good area, a touristy area to come and visit. You can camp with me. Come up and camp with me.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the
Yeah,
summer
so
camp.
anyway,
there it is. There's a lot in here.
Yeah, I'll probably do a short thingy on one of the ones that we release soon so that people can plan for it. But yeah, I was just thinking about that lady from Chicago. So,
Yeah, I mean, you all did it for the first time last year, right? Or they did it for the first time last year?
I don't know. I know that we did a big party last year, but it's not that.
There's a lot of photos from the event last year. I'm guessing that's from that one party.
Yeah, we're gonna. I think Eric's gonna do a raku workshop. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot to see.
Yeah. Okay. So we have what are we going to talk about today?
We got a bunch of questions. We also
Okay.
got a what would you do if?
Ooh, yeah. Let's do what would you do if and then let's um do we can talk about kilns.
Yeah. Okay, so the what would you do if is what would you do if you woke up one day and you were a cat? Go!
I would sleep all day. I would obviously get pets, lots of pets. I want to know why
Pets from
cats
who?
love to be like scratched so much. Yeah. Oh, if you were a cat, do you think you'd be like a dumpster cat or like a house cat? Like,
Oh, I'd be a house cat.
yeah, you would. I'd be like a dumpster cat probably. I'm just like envisioning my life as a cat, and it's just directly paralleling Lady and the Tramp. The Tramp's like morning routine.
Mhm.
That would be my life. I'd be like best friends with every single. I'd be like a street cat, but I'd be the street cat that every single business owner loves. And also, if there's a college nearby, I would just like go to the college and just like be the college cat.
Have you seen the movie Aristocats on Disney?
Ryan, we literally watched Aristocats together. No, wait, that was the Great Mouse Detective Down Under, wasn't it?
The Great Master Detective, yeah.
Oh.
Not the
Yes,
Down
of
Under.
course.
The Down Under part is you're confusing that with Rescuers Down Under.
Rescuers Down Under. Yeah. We watched that one together. But yes, of course I've seen Aristocats. Has it been a while? Absolutely. But yes, of course.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking Aristocats, Oliver and Company, those kind of
Oliver and
like
Company.
vibes.
Cat's the only cat who knows where it's at.
Yeah, I would definitely be indoors. I don't know. I feel like finding the comfortable spot. I feel like it would need to be in a good like triangulation of sunspot with like airflow.
Mm.
But I don't know. I feel like they don't sit in front of vents that much unless it's
No,
like
cats don't love
heat
wind.
vents.
Yeah.
I mean, they just can't get overheated apparently. I don't know. 'Cause I feel like you just be baking in the sun, but you know.
Oh, Lloyd doesn't sit in the sun. He's a shade cat.
Mm.
But I think he knows he can get sunburned. White cats can get sunburned.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I would definitely be like absolutely yep.
Would you like hang out with your person or would you be more like solo? Just like go find a spot, get away from everybody or everything.
I'd be with my person. If I was like a house cat, definitely be with my person.
Just be following them all day.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like, yeah, just like Lloyd. I'd be
Lap
Lloyd.
cat.
Except for I'd probably be fat, and he's pretty skinny. So,
Yeah, I find it hard to be like, oh, I would do different things than what my cat already does because that's what I appreciate. It's like I like that you're going to be in the same room as me and just like sit over there.
yeah, like Lloyd sits literally at my feet. Like a dog.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of annoying if they're just like laying on your chest when you're sitting down or laying on your lap when you're trying to do stuff on your computer, but
yeah.
I feel like being in the same room, but like within proximity. It's like,
Mhm.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. For
Would you
sure.
want to be a certain color of cat?
Oh. I would like to be a black cat.
A black cat.
Ooh, maybe gray. Gray with a black nose.
Ooh. I always like the cute little like white cats with the bits of gray on them.
Mm.
And then I'm
You
kind of
know,
thinking of
everybody
the
listening to this
not
is
a
probably
not a
like, Becky,
Bengal
you're a
cat,
fucking
but
orange cat.
not an orange cat.
I'm an orange cat.
If it's like Winston, my parents have, no.
Oh my god. Fucking Winston. Love him.
Gray and black cats are okay, I guess. They're pretty cute.
I love black cats.
I don't know enough about the different personalities besides the ones that we have, so and you know, Winston.
And, and Winston. Winston's an orange tabby for anybody.
Yeah, it's just
wondering.
upsetting when both of their cats are just so antisocial. They don't want to interact at all. They're fraidy cats. They don't want to be around people at all unless it's on their terms, which is very few and far between.
Yeah. Winston. Yeah. No, you know what's funny is that I never wanted a white cat. Like, I never thought about getting white cats. And then when I got white cats, everyone was jealous. They're like, I've always wanted a white cat. And I was like, oh. Like, okay. It's like, did you actually want a white cat, though? Because they're not white all the time. They're dirty.
Yeah, he's pretty dirty. Like him getting dirty, I would not want to be grooming myself with the amount of dirt that you can see on him. Like,
Yeah. Oh, I have one thing to add. Speaking of cats, almost. I have found 5 ticks on my beings. On my head.
Oh.
I found one on my forehead. On my arm. On my toe. On my bed.
oh my gosh. So what are you doing? Are you just checking yourself every night?
Yeah. It's like a tick. It's like a tick paradise out here.
Can you feel it, or is it just a?
Most
'cause
of the
how do
time, I
you
didn't feel the
you
one
feel
on
it
my
on your-
head.
Yeah. Because I feel like
I
your
am-
head would have been hard to find.
And they're little too. They're very tiny. I am. You know how people are scared of spiders? That's how I feel about ticks. Kinda. Ticks and
Yeah.
scorpions. No, thank you.
Scorpions.
Anyway, continuing. So, L&L.com.
L&L Hotkilns.com. That's it.
That's it. No, I'm kidding.
So I replaced my elements recently, and after the fact, Dimitri was like, "Oh, you just missed the timing. We just put up a longer video of element replacements on our website." And I was like, and I ended up watching it actually, and it was pretty straightforward. Everything I needed. Actually, I did learn something from the video that I didn't realize. It was talking about stretching the elements and like
We've talked about this, Ryan.
where to stretch them, that it's better to stretch them at the corners, like where they meet, rather than stretching
Oh.
them in the middle on a long side.
Oh.
I think it had to do more with like surface area of like the amount of surface area you have of the element in the areas of the channels. Like it's best to have less surface area in the corners because the
Okay.
heat's distributed more evenly.
Oh. I've just heard that you take them and you just stretch them.
Yeah, he also said it's better to stretch, it said in the video it's better to stretch the whole thing rather than like just going through and just stretch,
Yeah.
stretch. Yeah, I didn't stretch the whole thing, but
Who does the videos?
I'm not really sure.
Oh.
But they've got some good. I'm trying to remember. I've only watched. I watched that one recently, but I'm trying to remember if all of them are like. If they talk over every single one, or if they. I know they have captions on a lot of them, but they also have like some good graphics. I think they were showing one with the graphics of how to do the order of operations with, you know, the nuts and the washers and the elements and the washer. So it's like you got to do it in a certain order so that you're making sure it's nice and compact and
Yeah.
put on there correctly. So they had some nice graphics for that too. So yeah, I
Yeah,
still
they're-
need to post my video of replacing them, but
Yeah, their videos and like, I mean, we've said this time and time again, but it still rings true. The information that they have on their website was already amazing, and the fact that they're adding videos to this is just phenomenal. It's like, you know, there's a benefit to, yes, some other companies have a fantastic customer service, but they don't have the information that, like, some people just want to look online and find the answer, you know? And that's what this is providing. It's like, you don't have to call, you don't have to wait on hold. You can just be like, oh, why did it have an E1? How do I do this? And just type it in and find it. And we're all busy, so it's like, you know, we don't really have enough time to call people, so
yeah.
and check on things sometimes. So it's nice just to like kind of look it up, and if there's a quick video, you know, it's a trusted video instead of finding some rando video on YouTube and being like, yeah, this looks okay.
Yeah. And there was like when I got my new kiln, they have the instruction manual with it, and it's pretty in depth. Like they've got tabs and everything to show you, like, hey, if you want to go to this area that's troubleshooting, go to here. If it's Genesis controller related, go to here. So the instruction manual is a good way that reaches people that want to go through the reading, and they're more like that kind of a learner. And then you've got the videos if you want more of a step-by-step visual learner. So yeah, there's many different options out there if you're running into issues, and a lot of it is applicable. It's pretty, you know, there's not everything that is just completely standard to L&L only. You know, there's some of the stuff that does span different kilns and stuff.
There's a lot of stuff that spans different kilns.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So even if you don't have an L&L, it should definitely be applicable to a lot of the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Sweet. Where can you find those videos?
Hotkilns.com. I was letting Autumn.
She's so pissed.
She is not happy.
Hotkilns.com. Autumn, your pitch was off just a smidge.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
All right. Are we ready to go to our listener questions that we're going to cover today?
Maybe.
So this episode is going to be kind of a assortment of listener questions that we'll kind of do into a Q&A episode. It'll range a variety of topics, but yeah, hopefully you get some good info from what we cover here. So, Becca is doing something over there, but I'm going to go ahead and read the first one.
It wasn't charging my MacBook because the cord wasn't plugged in right. So.
Ooh, yeah.
And
that's
I was
important.
at 9% battery. Okay.
That's important. All right, the first one reads from Jello.Designs. Yesterday, I had a show in downtown Boston. The forecast was not so good, but I decided to hope for the best and go. The weather was actually worse than I forecast. It poured sideways most of the day. At 2 p.m., I decided to pack up and head home after having sold only 2 pieces to that point. My question is, do you ever call it before even heading out? If the forecast is rain, do you cancel and make better use of that time? Or do you go anyway and sit in the rain hoping for a sale or two? I wonder if I can write off the booth fee, ? Jello.Designs.
Well, for sure you can write off the booth fee. You could before.
Yeah, you should be doing that regardless, no matter if it's a...
Always write off your booth fee.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you do?
I would stick it out.
You would stick it out?
I'm pretty I'm pretty determined that if I signed up for something for a commitment, I'm not going to be one of those that doesn't show up. Because I've been to the shows and you see the empty booth spots, and from organizing shows as well, like, you don't want people to have empty booth spots. Like, it just looks bad on the show, especially if you say the show is rain or shine and people don't show up. It just looks bad. So I don't want to be one of those people that makes it look bad. Maybe I shrink down the booth footprint of like what I'm going to put in there, and that's the thing I can affect, so that I don't overwhelm myself with putting too much work into my booth. But also, the weather changes reasonably fast sometimes, so I feel like I've rarely ever done a show where it's just rained the entire day, start to finish, you know. But
If it poured sideways most of the day, I'd have a very hard time staying there. I will say that. But
even if you're tearing down in the rain, like sideways rain, and it's still just as constant, I feel like I would hunker down and just stay in my booth longer and
yeah,
hope
that's
for
fair.
the rain to let up.
I am definitely a huge fan of not tearing down in the rain. I'm also with you. For the most part, I'll stick it out. Mostly because I'm too lazy. It's not because it's it's not because I want the sale. It's because I really just enjoy just sitting in a booth and not doing anything. I'm like one of those people that when it's time to like pack up, I'm like, do we have to? I was having a good time. like, but like, and I mean, I've been to shows where they canceled the show. I feel like that's one of those situations where it's like, they probably should have canceled it.
Yeah, I mean, I see people's feeds all the time with, they do these bigger shows and it's bad weather and they say, hey, we're closing down at 3 today instead of 5. I've seen those. Like, I don't think there's any...
Yeah.
There's no issue with that. I mean, I don't know how I would feel about... Let's say it's a show that was at 10 o'clock. It goes like 10 to 4. And they say, hey, we're going to close down at 1 today. And they close it early, or 2. Like, I mean, I would rather let the show cancel it and say, hey, you can start packing up. Like, I mean, I feel like it's a good gesture when the show organizers are looking out for the artists and like, hey, we're going to close early because it's looking really bad, or, you know, versus sticking it out and it's really bad and tents are flying and it's like, you know, you're risking people getting injured when tents are flying.
That's true. I feel like I can't remember when, but there was one show in the past, like, year that I did pack up early, and I felt guilty the whole time. I was like, ooh. I don't remember what it was for, and I know that I was never going to be back again. Like,
were there other people that packed up early?
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't remember all the details. But I definitely like. But I get it though. Like when you're just sitting there and you have.
Did you pack up early because of the weather or because of the sales were? It was just so slow.
I think it was a combination, but I don't remember honestly. I just remember the feeling of being like, I'm gonna leave. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely understand the feeling of like wanting to leave. But also, like, I think the majority of people would probably go home and actually get some work done. I won't. That is not something I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I don't know if that's accurate that most people are gonna go home and get work done. I feel like maybe if you just don't go at all.
Yeah.
You might be like, I just don't feel like, hey, okay, you left at, I mean, I don't know about you post-show, but when I'm done with the show, I get home, I'm kind of like decompressing. I'm not really ready to work an hour after I'm home.
Yeah.
Like, I'm chilling.
I mean, if you went home, like, pretty early, though, if you, like, went home, because, like...
But it's just as much energy to tear down, even if you're tearing down early. I mean, especially in the bad weather, like, if anything, you're probably expending more energy. You're spending just as much energy as if you would have stuck it out and then tore down at the end.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Most
also
people's
don't know,
mental
but
energy just gets drained the longer you're sitting there feeling like you're not doing anything. But
yeah, I think that it should be noted that me and Ryan are both rule followers.
Oh,
So
definitely.
if you're not if you're not a rule follower, then do whatever you want.
I just think the confidence it takes to tear down and just be like, fuck this, I'm gone. Like, I don't know about
Yeah.
many people's booths, but when we have to make multiple trips, like, I would need to make 4 trips. Like, do I really want to do that 4 times walking past people?
Yeah.
It's
If everybody else around me left, I'd leave.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not gonna be the first.
I won't be the first, but I'll be the last. I'll be
Yeah,
the
I mean-
last.
Yeah, I mean, usually if anything like that, I may like start packing up a little bit early, and then by the time the show is like technically over, I'm rolling out.
Yeah.
But
For
that's that's usually a show that's maybe ending 45 minutes or 30 minutes early. It's not 2 hours early. That's a little much in my opinion, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, that's what you sign up for. You sign up and your commitment is that I'm going to be here during the show hours. And a lot of shows that you apply and sign their not their waiver. I mean, you don't always sign a waiver, but that's what you're agreeing to, is that you're going to be there for the show hours. And the risk is, some fee or not being welcomed back. I don't ever want to be on a shit list, basically, of not being
I
allowed to
think-
come back.
We can make a caveat with the exception of if there's a tornado or a hurricane, get the fuck out.
Oh yeah, that's like safety. I mean, the show should be
that's a given,
deciding for that.
But yeah, I've spent many shows in rain.
Yeah, I mean, I would suspect there's probably some shows where they don't have the experience of knowing when to call it
Yeah,
because they've never
It's hard.
experienced that bad of weather, and they're like, at what point are we risking
safety.
the patrons and the vendors
Yeah.
and stuff? Because when stuff starts crashing, we've had windy days out at the shows this year, and some tents might get flipped or whatever, and some people's stuff keep falling over, but yeah, that could be pretty dangerous.
For sure. For shizzle.
All right,
Okay.
do you want to read the next one?
Yes. What's your opinion on slip versus magic water to attach stuff, handles, etc. on leather hard pots?
J. Junipers.
Oh, J. Junipers.
I would suspect that magic water, is that the vinegar in water? Is that what magic water is essentially?
I believe it's a sodium-based water and vinegar. I think it's something that you can actually buy. Let me look it up. But continue with your thought.
I mean, I'm on the slip train. I actually, back in the day, I used to, when I would attach every handle, I would actually spit on the slip and score.
Mm-hmm.
And I would spit on it and use that as the joining thing. And then I got to using the slip for the last, I don't know, 5 years or so.
Okay, so here's a recipe for magic water by Lena Wilson. I found it on potterymakinginfo.com. It says 1 gallon of water, 3 tablespoons of liquid sodium silicate, and 1.5 teaspoons of soda ash. Or,
Soda ash, really?
or
Wow.
1 gallon of water, 9.5 grams of sodium silicate, and 3 grams of soda ash. So they have like weight or measures.
Okay, so it's not vinegar at all. In high school, we used to have water with vinegar in it, and that's what we would use to slip and score.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of people that use vinegar, but no, magic water is different. Magic water is like...
Okay, I have no
Is-
experience with magic water then.
Magic water is like, if you have a crack on, really, if I remember correctly, if you have a crack on like something completely dry, you can put magic water in it and rub it in, and it probably won't come back. So, oh, look, it says...
Because sodium
alcohol.
silicate, from what I remember, is like the times that I used it, we painted it on the surface and then we stretched the pot, so it kind of like is like a
Yeah.
adhesive, like a glue, like a skin
Uh-huh.
that holds the particles together. I don't know if it's holding. Yeah, it just feels like it's freezing the outer skin of the pot, and then you're stretching it. So maybe it's kind of acts as like an adhesive or something. I don't exactly know, but
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, it's funny because when I was in when I was in college, somebody had asked about magic water, or my professor said something about magic water, and she goes, no, just use your spit. It's fine. You know, like, she just said the exact same thing. So, your spit is the exact same recipe, I believe, but, yeah. So, this is pretty informative. Alternatives to magic water. There are some situations where you may not want to use, or you can't use magic water for pottery. Maybe you don't have all the ingredients. Maybe here's a few alternatives. Score slip press. Vinegar is another widely known liquid that can be used to improve the joints. Spoo's recipe is 1 part dry crushed clay body. You're using 1 part kitchen vinegar and 1 part corn syrup and a drop of peroxide. That's interesting. Paper clay or magic mud, and that's paper, bone dry clay, soak overnight in it, and mix it. And they don't say anything about spitting, but
I was looking up I've been chatting. I'm doing a little chat GPT here, asking about the magic water and the vinegar.
Oh.
Yeah, it says the vinegar is acidic acid in vinegar acts as a flocculant, causing the clay particles to clump together.
Oh.
And this property helps create a more cohesive bond between the clay surfaces, making the joint stronger and more durable.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's a flocculant, which is similar to sodium silicate, whereas Darvan is a deflocculant. Okay.
Okay, here's my opinion on this. So both items are making your clay wetter as they are being attached. So like slip, when you put it on one thing and put it on another thing, it's like making it wet around, and then you attach it, and you kind of like move together. And magic water is doing the same thing. However, I think that magic water would work better than slip, because slip adds a lot more moisture to your clay as you're attaching it. Like spit or vinegar, I think, would be better than slip. Personally, I was taught not to even put slip on my handles, just use the slip that you create when you're making a handle, essentially. But
that's after pulling the handle, right? You don't just take clay right from the bag without putting any water on it and put it on the mug.
Right. Yeah, no. I think magic water would work better than slip, personally. Do I use it? No, but I don't make handles. So, yeah, I mean, like, it might be something to try if you have all the ingredients. You could definitely pare down that recipe so it's not a gallon. But yeah, I think that it would be a great thing to try. I do think that slip can add a little bit too much moisture, but a quick fix is to just mix slip with vinegar and water. Too.
Yeah, I use mostly slip, but it varies. Like, sometimes it depends on the moisture level. Like, obviously the most important thing here with the joining pieces is that they're at a similar consistency moisture wise. So
Yeah.
like if my mug body is too dry, I don't have any reservations about dunking that thing upside down and dipping it in water and letting it absorb in before I even score anything. You know, dip it in, let it get absorbed, you know, give it 30 seconds or something, 45 seconds. See how like much moisture's in there, and if it holds its shape, and if it's like a little bit flimsy, then it's probably a little too soft. You might need to. So for me, it's just a lot of timing. Like, is my handle going to be similar consistency or not? The slip between them is less of like, I don't know that that's going to affect it as much for me, but maybe. But I'm definitely not going to use water. Water is too. There's not enough like teeth in the water if you just put water in a joint.
Yeah.
But the magic water, I think it's chemically doing something else. It's doing something with the particles and making them like stick together better. But if you're just using water, that's not enough, in my opinion. It just kind of like squeezes out and it kind of runs down the pot and stuff. So, I'm dipping in water to give moisture to the whole body, so that when I like put the handle on, it can dry consistently with the whole body of the mug, not just the one little spot. Like, don't just put water on one little spot where it's going to join, because it's going to be uneven moisture with the body surrounding the handle.
Yeah, I think that also if you were going to attach a badge, I use slip when I attach badges, but I've had so many fucking issues with badges in my life that I think that if I was going to do it again, I'd probably use magic water now that I think about it. But, or mix
Is there like a
magic
secret to the
water
badges?
with slip. No, it's just pray to the badge gods and hope that it doesn't explode. No, it is. I mean, to bisque really slowly and let them actually dry. But
is there something with like making sure you're not ribbing the body of your mug that you're going to put the badge onto, or just scoring overly, scratching and putting slip on both sides, or
yeah, making sure your the
like
body
pinching
of your
it together
mug
and compressing it somehow, or
right, and making sure the body of your mug is like the right wetness. But also, I think that if you're looking for a help with attaching your handles or anything like that, maybe do magic water, whatever. But if you want something to try first, to like if you're going to use slip or whatever, I would just put them back in a damp box or cover them for a day and let them find each other and like talk to each other.
Yeah, definitely do that. I do.
Yeah.
I still do that to this day. Like, you spend however long handling. I don't know what kind of climate you're in, but like
She's in
Isaac, he handles them in.
California.
Oh, okay. I was gonna
She's
say
in Northern
Isaac
California.
handles his at night. Like, he throws them in the morning. He has to handle them at night, or else they're gonna dry out too much. So he handles them and he just leaves them.
Yeah.
So his are apparently like he figured out the timing so that it works perfectly and they can
Well,
dry together without
it's
like letting them
also-
acclimate overnight. But
It's also like 1,000% humidity in Kansas. So like,
is it?
yeah. It depends on where you are, but yes.
Okay.
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
Yeah. So I definitely still dry things under plastic for at least 10 hours, 12 hours overnight. And then I just take it, like, I don't do the flipping or anything like that. I'll just take the plastic off and just let them air dry the rest of the time. If you want to, put them out in the sun or, sit them on top of a hot kiln, I'll sometimes do that so that they can dry quicker. But, yeah, that's kind of the way I do it. I don't really have handles like pop off. If your handles are popping off, I've found that make sure you get a good, you push the handle joints on really well, not
You could
like a loose joint. You
It
just
could
barely push it
also
in.
be your clay.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say a lot to that, but I've definitely had a whole batch of handles botched, and it was the clay.
One
It
one thing
wasn't
that I
like-
do with the clay, I never use reclaimed clay for handles. I always use fresh out of the bag clay for handles.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. I stand corrected. It's only like 57% humidity. So, yeah. Right now.
Right now. Okay. Well, there's your Slip Magic Water stiff.
Stiff.
All right. Another handle question. What sells better, a pulled handle or a handle from an extruder? This is from Sean Reed Pottery. Have you sold both handles at one show? Or, you know, I don't think I've never actually made a handle from an extruder,
I have.
so I can't tell you if one sells better than the other.
I'll tell you this. Neither
Mhm.
sell better if if you're shitty at making either of them.
Hmm.
So I
mean, I
that
think-
like you can make an extruded handle that looks phenomenal, that looks like it's pulled. But you can,
Right, right. If it's really nice and really well crafted, you can. You know, it doesn't really look any different.
Yeah. Hey, Melissa, are your guys' handles all like? They're not pulled, right? They're like slap or like not extruded. They're extruded or whatever.
Well, we do both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. Our fast mugs that we charge less for, that we use for the decals, we extrude them so that it's faster.
Yeah.
But then our nicer mugs with the nice.
Okay. So they sell both. So the handles that.
Did you ask her which sells better?
Which sells better?
It depends.
It depends.
Yeah, we have an audience for both. Really.
They have an audience for both. So, and they have a good.
Oh.
You can leave. I don't want to hold you up. They. You're excused.
Because I was like, you almost have to have every variable the exact same except for the handle, and then just do like that would be the best test.
Yeah, I feel like both of them look great. You know, their extruded ones look good and their pulled ones look good. Personally, I like the extruded ones better.
Do they look different enough that they're not trying to be one another?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they
look
have their own
different enough.
personality, yeah.
So I think that it doesn't really matter if you extrude or if you pull as long as it's actually good.
Okay.
But this handle is pulled and it's quite lovely. You know, I think there's something about a pulled handle when it's like thicker at the top and it tapers down to like a skinny at the bottom. It's like it's
Mhm.
nice.
Does that affect you as much, like looking at it from a distance versus the actual feel of it? Because to me, I think that can have an effect.
Yeah. I think it matters more if like the inside of the handle doesn't have any sharp edges, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes extruded or slab handles can have a sharp edge on the inside. The attachments at the bottom and the top, those matter. Like yours are pulled off the mugs, and I think you have one of the best handles in the business, personally.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I pride myself on my handles.
You have very
Whenever
good
I'm at
handles.
shows and people are like, "Ooh, I really like these," I'm like, "Great." I pride myself on the handles. They're really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, but I mean, like I can do a just a hand built handle, and it looks really fucking great, you know. So
Yeah, I would get so. I would just feel frozen when it comes time to take a handle that is off a pot and get it onto a pot and make it look seamless. And it's just that
Well,
would
it's-
feel like a challenge to me.
it's also like if you want a 5-finger or a 4-finger mug, it's hard to get that with a pulled handle if your mug's not tall enough. And you would almost have to have an extruded handle for that because you want it to be a D shape or a C shape.
Yeah, that's
D.
pretty hard to get onto the mug.
Yeah.
without it being I mean, you could pull it and then cut it at the right spots.
Yeah.
I think also just for efficiency, I just don't want to spend time waiting between pulling to attaching and spending time attaching. I'd rather just do all that in one go, but that's just kind of how I built my workflow and aesthetics that I've chosen. Like, if somebody was like, you can never make one of those handles again, I'd be like, well, what the fuck do I do?
Sorry, people are trying to get in here, but it's fine. He can come in. There's bugs. Anyway, they're going to pick up one of Ollie's friends.
Oh my
at
gosh,
the
did you
airport.
see that video of that guy that was throwing a handle on the wheel?
I did!
I think you shared it and I reposted it.
Yeah,
oh my
it's
gosh,
pretty
that was
wild.
freaking nuts.
Yeah, he like threw it down over the top of it and then cut it off. I would never do that. That looks like...
Yeah, kind of like a
Yeah.
mushroom shape, and then
Yeah.
he kind of like plucked a handle off and it stretched. That was pretty nuts.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think the answer to this question is that it cannot be answered. What sells better? But I think the best answer is...
The better handle is going to sell better.
Yeah, the better handle is going to sell better. And some people make really shittily pulled handles, and some people make really shittily extruded handles. So...
Yeah. The extrusion versus the pulling is just a tool for
Yeah.
getting an aesthetic that you're going for. So
Yeah. Oh, here, I have one more question. That's
Okay.
not related to this, but it is related to handles. Do we like a curl at the bottom, or do we not like a curl at the bottom?
a curl that goes out and comes back in.
Yeah. Like the classic country pots.
No, I don't think it serves any purpose, and I think it doesn't look good, personally.
I am not a curl fan. But I know...
Okay, here's a follow-up.
Okay.
What do you think of the thumb rest? The thumb dimple thing.
It has to go the right way. Don't give me a fucking backward thumb rest. I'm
What
a
do you
fan...
mean by that? Having it right on the very top?
No, like, sometimes they do a thumb rest that, like... I've seen thumb rests that... Okay, on the ear of the handle. Ear.
Yeah.
Okay? And the inside ear is at the cup, right? And
Right.
the thumb rest has to go towards the cup. It cannot go away from the cup. It cannot be higher on the outside of the handle than on the inside of the handle, because my thumb does not fit comfortably going down.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I explained
I'm
this
thinking of
correctly.
one specifically. I'm thinking of one handle specifically when you say that.
Because, like, I just see the ones that are they're for show, right? They're for show. They're not as much for comfort. But they, like, go up and they tilt upward. And...
It needs to... there's one that I got from a studio in Atlanta that is really nice. From... I can't remember the name of the studio. It's in Atlanta or Decatur, I think.
Yeah.
But it's got... It looks like a little ramp. Like if you were on a slope, there's a ramp that you're going to go up the ramp, and when you get off the ramp, you're going to be diving right into the mug. Is kind of the slope that you're talking about.
This is a nice handle. Yeah, the slope. The slope that goes, like... Now we've gotten into a handle situation. Melissa's going out the door now. This is her favorite handle of all time, and it looks like it's pulled, but it's attached like a D. So it's not, like, coming off of the mug. Anyway, yes. Okay, it has to be... The slope has to... If you were riding a skateboard on the handle, the slope has to shoot you over the cup, not away from the cup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're trying to go in the cup or go over the cup. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that seems like just so uncomfortable, just to, like, put your thumb on the very tip of the slope. No.
Yeah, on the very top. It's just not.
Yeah.
It's just not natural to put your
No.
thumb up there.
You are literally supposed to rest your thumb on it. It needs to go with the thumb.
Because that position only really works if you're holding a mug a very specific way. There's no other. You can't kind of cradle the mug body and use the thumb rest. It's not really.
Yeah.
There's really only one hand position that I know of that you can like use the thumb rest right.
Yeah. I remember when I did beer mugs for I want to say it was Oktoberfest, and I had a thumb rest and it said drink up. No, it said beer me. Did it say beer me? I think it did. It was cute.
The thing is, if it's done right, like that mug I'm talking about from Atlanta, that's probably my most comfortable mug I own, honestly.
Yeah.
So if it's in the perfect spot and the handle is a perfect 2-finger handle, it's perfect balance for the size of the mug. It's probably a 10-ounce volume mug, maybe 12, and it's just perfect. I love it.
Yeah. For sure. God, freaking handles, man. You can never get them right, and you can never get them right. That's basically what
I think
it
you
is.
just have to stick with it. You just got to stick
Yeah.
with the same thing, and you're making incremental like 0.5%, 0.25% incremental improvements.
Yeah.
The more you make them, and like the aesthetic of how far off the mug body it goes, that's right. Like sometimes I still make handles that are a little too far off, and I'm like, ugh, that doesn't look as good.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna rip the handle off and redo it. I'm just like, okay, like, this one will sell, but handle's not my favorite. Okay, there was another question that was from Sean Reed Pottery that was asking, when do you know when to start selling your work as a new potter? And we actually answered that on a different episode. So if you're wondering and you have that same question, we actually talked about that on episode 135 called When Should You Start Selling? And that would be a perfect episode you should listen to at length about this specific question. So,
Yes.
another one from Sean.
Awesome. So, we have 2 more questions, but we are going to talk about something else first.
Yes.
Okay,
All
so we are going to talk about Smith Sharp Advancer shelves and how awesome they are. Take it away.
Yeah, so happy to have them on board. Thanks for sponsoring the podcast, and we get to reach a bigger audience, talk about the Advancer shelf. So I've had mine for a number of years. Becca's had hers for a number of years, different kilns she's used them in. I've pretty much used them in the same couple of L&Ls, but use a variety of full shelves and half shelves. But yeah, they're great. So for me, I really love... the thing that I
He's
used to
speechless.
do before with my regular shelves where I would have piles of alumina hydrate all over certain shelves whenever I'd be firing my speedball underglazes on the shelf because they would stick. So I was like, oh well, I gotta put the alumina down and make sure they don't stick. But now I just have the lightest dusting of alumina. Thanks, Becca, for that.
Yep.
On my advancers, and I could just fire the pots right on the advancers now, and I don't have to worry about it plucking the pots or the underglaze sticking to them and giving me issues. So that's one big advantage that I like about them right now.
Yeah, and I would say if you have a class-based studio, it will change your life. It'll change your life. The Beals have them, and he picked one up, and I had mentioned that, we were sponsored by them now, and he goes, quote, he goes, I would never own any other shelf other than this. He goes, they're awesome, aren't they? And I was like, yeah, they're freaking great. And they are. They're like, it's an investment. We're not going to lie to you. It's an expensive thing to buy. But if you are firing any work that might drip, if you're firing any work that's not yours, if you're firing experimental work, porcelain, literally, like, there's so many things that you could be firing that would be helpful to have these shelves, because they just kind of like let go. And if you get glaze all over it, somebody who's a first time potter forgets to wipe the bottom of their piece, it just comes straight off.
Yeah, I know back when I still have some of those older shelves, but you get some glaze drips and you just set that shelf aside. You're like, okay, I'll get to, whenever I get a few shelves that I need to clean, I'll get to that one and I'll clean it. But with these, if there's any issues, you can just use one of those scrapers, or you can use the glaze eraser that they have, and you could just quickly scrape it off. Like, this is a seconds job. This is not you don't have to get out a tool and take it outside, and you can just do a quick scrape and it just pops right off. If you do want to take a sponge to it and like wipe it, you can like do a quick wipe on it, but it's not a ordeal to clean them. So
let's not forget that
if that's not worth saving you time. If you scraped a bad kiln shelf, like, ooh,
yeah,
you don't want to have to do that.
Let's not forget that they are half the width, or even maybe more than,
height. Yeah, the thickness of them.
The thickness of them is like half of a regular shelf, and the ultra thins are like half of that.
Yeah, the ultra thins are, I think, 1/8 of an inch.
The ultra thins are magic. I don't know what the heck that is happening there. Wild, absolutely wild. But yeah, and so if you have, especially if you have here's what it is: 8 millimeter thin for a standard advancer and 4 millimeter thin for advancer ultra. Yeah,
4 millimeters for a kiln shelf.
That's insane. And like, if you have a stand-up kiln and you're always constantly putting shelves in sideways, it will save your shoulder. And if you're always putting kilns in downwards, it'll save your back. It's just, it literally is a no-brainer for me, and I don't understand. And that's all I have to say.
Yeah, so if you want to look up all the fancy advancer kiln shelves, if you want to get the standard ones, the ultras, all that information, you can find that on kilnshelf.com. Have a look.
Yeah.
And tell them we sent you.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go to our next question.
Onward. You want to read it?
Yeah. It says, hey guys, I was listening to your podcast today and I have some questions about Speedball. I'm already sold on them and absolutely love how pigmented they are, but I'm curious, what brushes do you use to apply your Speedball evenly? Also, I don't put glaze on the outside of my pieces. I hate how the old formula feels chalky and rough after my Cone 6 firing. I usually sand them in order to make them feel much smoother to the touch. Is the new formula better? And I'll have to do less sanding, ? That would be awesome. Thanks for all the information. I love the podcast. Sarah Catherine Clay. Cool. Do you want to answer?
I feel like you should answer this. the only thing I know about the brushes, so Erica, my assistant Erica, love Erica. She does all of my slip and underglaze application, so she would be the best person to answer this. But from what I've seen, she uses those fan brushes from Mako.
Yeah.
The like fairly thin ones. They're pretty good. They don't hold a ton of liquid to like cake on there. It's like just enough to get a good even spread of it. And she has mentioned that the newer formula, because it is more liquidy
Viscous.
without like more, well, isn't viscous more thick though?
No, I'm pretty sure.
More it flows better. It's not as like thick. Um, it spreads easier. So, especially with those fan brushes, before it may have been a little bit thicker with the old formula. And she likes the fan brushes. Sometimes she uses other brushes, but yeah, I would say those are kind of her go-to.
You're correct. Viscous is sticky and thick. I was wrong. Viscosity is how thick it is. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I actually like the Mako brushes that are thick, the thick ones, and the
Like a
fan-
hockey brush, kind of.
No, well, yeah, I guess, but they're like the fan brushes that are thicker, and they are also made by Mako. I think Amico has them too. And they are just like, they hold on real well. Here's what I have to say about it. They're not going to be like buttery soft when they get out of the kiln. They are better. Now, there's a few things that I do to achieve a better like application, and one of those things is after you're done painting, especially unless it's like a multitude of colors, after you're done painting, I like to rub it with my finger to get like an even, just kind of like push all the molecules down a little bit. That will help with how smooth it is. And
Are you painting these at leather hard, bone dry, bisqueware?
I paint them at bisque. So
Okay,
I wouldn't
so even
do
at
that.
bisque, you're still doing that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that at leather hard probably, but yeah. So I like to kind of just scuff them down with my finger a little bit. I feel like that seems to help it kind of like push down a little bit more. But the new formula is exponentially better.
Yeah, I would
So-
suspect if you're painting it on bisqueware, you definitely want to make sure it's adhered very well. So doing
Yeah.
that kind of process. Erica puts all of ours on at leather hard because I'm gonna carve them. That's the whole reason she's doing it
Yeah.
at that stage. So she doesn't do that, but there's a fine line of how thick it should be. Like, some
Yeah.
she uses a couple coats, especially if it's underglaze. If
Mhm.
it's slip, she can get away with a single coat of black or blue slip that I use,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
those tend to work okay. But yeah, depending on the color and the clay body is going
Right.
to depend on how much you need it also.
For sure. And it does really kind of depend on the color, and I found that with Mako and Amico's. It really depends on the color, which is wild, but it's true. Whether it's like a lot more quote unquote velvety or smooth. But yeah, I would say just kind of like going over it a little, even if you like run around it with just like a dry sponge, like rub it in like kind of with a dry sponge on the outside if it's bisque, that is helpful.
Like a finishing sponge, like a Mud Tools finishing sponge, like the white ones that are
Mm.
smooth and like tight.
No, I was
Or
just thinking a regular
Just a
sponge.
regular sponge.
Like a round one, I think would be fine. But I mean, like, it's not necessary because the new formula is a lot better. But I think you're going to have to sand anything a little bit after it comes out of the glaze, because remember that your particles are getting smaller because they're shrinking, so they're always going to be pushing out a little bit of texture. But I would say that you don't need much to sand off the texture. Like, I know this is not super relatable, but I only tumble my earrings for an hour to get them to be smooth, and before that they're not even that bad. So I would imagine you could scuff sand it with probably 200 and be fine. Like just a quick hand sand, boom, 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 and it would feel great.
Yeah.
So
And if you have some of the old formula, if you're wanting to get it a little bit smoother and less chalky, like chunky and thick, you can use Darvan to thin it out.
yeah,
Some of those old formula as well, you could water it down and it would go longer because it was very pigmented. So
yeah,
you kind of got to play around with it, like whether you use more water but not too much water, or you thin it with Darvan and make it more flowy, and it spreads a little bit easier, kind of like the new formula. But
I do feel like the new formula dries almost instantaneously. It's like on the bisque, it's just like boom, which is great, and it can be like
I'm trying to think. Sarah Catherine, I think she's putting it on leather hard
is she
or greenware in some capacity. Let's see. Sarah Catherine. Oh, she's carving.
She's carving, so it's graffito.
Yeah.
Oh, you should just sand it at bisque. Scuff sanded at bisque. Boop 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 boop.
Yeah, that would make it pretty nice, I would think. And I wouldn't think it would be so thin that you're going to sand through it. I mean, there is some detail work on here, but if you just do a quick like rough sand, probably be good. Yeah, because I can see all of her like outer surfaces are pretty much just raw.
Yeah.
They look nice though.
I think that if you leave it raw, like, regardless, you're going to have to sand it a little bit on the outside. I know Sarah does that, and she uses Amicos. So, you know.
Yeah. And some clay bodies are a little bit grittier and pretty smooth, but it looks like hers is more like a red. Maybe it's pretty smooth. I don't know. It looks kind of like a brown bear, sort of, or a standard 266.
Yeah.
Or it's like a brown. That's usually pretty smooth.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Hopefully that helps.
yes. All right. Last question?
Last question.
Oh.
What's a big dream kind of goal you want to achieve in your business / skill / or life in general?
Mm.
Can I tell you immediately what comes to mind? Which isn't really my
Sure.
goal, but it's what I tell somebody. Like if they were like, "What's your dream goal in life?" To find a rich man to marry who doesn't really love me, that lets me travel, and I don't ever have to talk to him,
Why would he marry you?
so I can get his money.
Why would he marry you, is what I'm saying.
Because I'm crafty.
Why would he want what?
That's my for fun answer. But also, if it happened,
You
to me
want a
in
sugar
real-
daddy.
But if it happened to me in real life, I would not be upset.
Okay, this is like a DMs are open situation. The DMs are open for a sugar daddy.
Only if I never have to talk to you.
Oh my gosh.
It can't happen. I think that I've actually come to a conclusion that I just don't want to be in a relationship. And that
But why would you have to get married though in that situation?
so I can have his money when he dies.
Oh.
Obviously.
That's a long way away though, probably, right?
Not if you marry old.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
Is that your real answer?
No, that's not my real answer. Okay, I was just giving you time. What's your answer?
My initial business answer, not the obvious. Obvious is do this full time, but I think I would love for my entire body of work to be soda fired. I think that would be a dream. That
I
my
love
entire body of work
that.
is not oxidation fired, and it's completely. I'm only selling soda fired work. I think that would be a dream.
I love that for you, and I think you should make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get it. Let's see. This seems really like stupid, but I really don't care what I'm doing. I think that my like big dream kind of goal is to make enough money passively in a mostly passive manner to live and to save enough so that I don't have to so that I have enough for like a semi-retirement. I'd like to buy some land so that I can just park there and just exist. And I would like to not have to work for my money. I know that seems really unrealistic.
That seems very overlapping with the sugar daddy situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, that's why I said it's like I'm kind of serious, but I'm kind of not. But, like, I'm sure I'll get, at some point, I'm sure I'll get to a point where I want to work for the money that I have. But
There's some folks that already have land. They already have money. You
I
just
know.
need to get in the
Get
you just
in the
need
door.
to get in there.
No, I mean, I don't think that I was talking to somebody recently, and I was like, isn't it just wild that, like, at 34, you could just pivot? You could just, like, you just literally be like, I'm going to be a bookkeeper now. And just pivot. And, like, and I feel like I might kind of be in one of those moments right now where I might be pivoting, but I don't know. It's a little scary.
Oh
Like-
yeah, it's definitely scary.
Super scary.
I mean, the thing that I always think about, like, yeah, you're 34, and the thing that I mean, obviously a lot of people find things way later in life, and
Yeah.
it depends on where you are financially. Like, do you have the stability so that you can make risky decisions and completely make a life change, or is it something that's like, you know, something is like sucking your soul out of you, and
Right.
that you need to make a change, or else, you know, you're not going to be in a good spot if it keeps going.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I completely went out of the industry that I'm in, what could I do that actually made me enough money to live on? Like, what skills do I have that's marketable at $35 an hour or whatever? Like, is there a job I can go into to get that that I'm qualified for? Or am I gonna have to start from zero again, you know?
Yeah, but to be fair, you're almost to like, I feel like, I mean, I don't know your finances, but I've known you long enough that I feel like you're probably almost to like retirement. Like, you're in
But
a
it's
pretty
not-
sweet spot, so you wouldn't have to.
But if I did have to, like, if I got I was gonna say injured, but like if I had to make a shift or something.
Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't in the situation I'm in, where I have the flexibility. Like, the finances
Right.
are there. I can make whatever decision I want because I'll be financially fine.
Right. Yeah, like if I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm really honestly considering just working at Chipotle. Free food.
What does
Air
a
conditioning.
Chipotle employee make when you start? Like,
Mm.
is that like a $20 an hour?
I doubt it. I bet.
Obviously, it's
starting-
regional, but I mean, obviously
What's
the
the
food's
starting
nice.
pay of Chipotle? The average hourly pay at a Chipotle team member in Indiana is $12.95.
Oh my gosh.
Salaries, the majority. While ZipRecruiter is seeing salaries as high as $16.47 and as low as $7.55. Thanks for that. That's the national.
gosh.
That's the national.
Minimum wage.
Minimum wage, $7.50. They got 5 cents above. The majority of Chipotle team members' salaries currently range between $10.96 to $14.42. So
That's a big difference. $14 an hour. I would suspect they have good. They would like.
match and have you.
Is that one of those like probationary periods? Like, once you're there for 6 months, we bump you up $1, or
I don't know. I haven't worked in food in a long time, but yeah. I mean, I would honestly. Okay. Do you know what my honest like answer is to this? Which I don't think is realistic, but It would be so fucking cool to learn how to like do CAD drawings and stuff and then work for like a company like Speedball and design tools. I would love to do that. I would love to do that.
Yeah. You're like the idea person, and then you figure out with the like production folks, like
Yeah.
how do you make this possible? What limitations do we have? Like what
Yeah.
materials do we use?
Yeah, that would be so cool. I mean, that's very industrial designing of me, and that's what I should have gone to college for, but yeah. Did you know
Sounds sort of like what Jordan does a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit. He does it on a much grander scale, but yeah, I'm thinking more like hand tools, but yeah. Like,
Mhm.
ever since in college, I watched this, it was a documentary. I don't know, it wasn't Helvetica, but it was something close to that. And they were talking about the people that design all the tools for OXO. The
Oh,
kitchen-
yeah.
The kitchen
The-
brand.
Right.
And I was like, oh my god, I want to make potato peelers. Like, that would be so fun to like make things that your hands like ergonomically like are good for your hands and that
Yeah.
you use every day.
You know what? I don't know that there are out there. Are there specific trimming tools that are for right-handed people versus left-handed people?
I don't know. I feel like we'd have to ask a left-handed person, but I feel like most of the trimming tools that I personally use are both ways.
Yeah, I feel like they're all standardized so that they're the exact same, but I would suspect that I'm going to say 90% of the people work on a pottery wheel the same way.
Yeah, right-handed.
I mean, some wheels don't even spin the opposite way.
Yeah.
So,
The world is
I mean,
like, fuck you, you have to go our
yeah,
way.
it kind of sucks because there's not a standard, especially in teaching. Like, a lot of wheels don't go the opposite way, and you're lucky to have a teacher that's going to show you the you know, if your wheel is spinning counterclockwise. Yeah, it's not common.
P.S. If anybody's out there that is left-handed and throws counterclockwise and needs some help, I'm more than happy to help you. I can do both.
That should be part of the throwing challenge. Is that part of the Clay Olympics?
Oh, I don't know.
Spin the wheel the opposite way?
That would be fun. Yeah.
It'd be kind of like throwing a baseball left-handed. Like,
Yeah.
good luck. Throwing a pot the opposite way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. I feel like that would fit into something that would kind of fit your
Yeah.
kind of Venn diagram of skills and interests. And
Yeah, there's like a
I'm
few
just-
things that I've always kind of wanted to do. Like, I've always wanted to make dishes for people that are like have autism or have cerebral palsy or something that like is for disabled people that like need certain needs met. I've always wanted to do that.
yeah, you're talking about like a mug with two handles on it,
Yeah,
so
and
it's
like
easier to grip. Or
and like super heavy dishes and maybe textured dishes so that like kids that maybe have nonverbal autism can like feel comfortable eating, you know. That's always been like in the back of my mind, but I just don't know how to do that. And I don't know if my hands are gonna really, I don't know if I'll ever throw pottery like
production.
or even like the main part of my job ever again. Yeah.
Were you still? Did you ever do that tin mug thing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
TPG mugs. Remember we were talking about at one point? We were like, "Oh, what if you built in where you just did 10 unique mugs every
I haven't even
other
started.
month or something?"
I'm like, haven't even started that plan yet. Like, that's literally started yesterday.
Oh, Well, we talked about it we talked about it when I was at Isaac's, I think,
Yeah.
or before that.
Yeah.
I think we talked about it with Heidi the last time, maybe.
Look at me.
Before.
Look at me following plans. Sticking to plans.
Sticking to plans. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other just general. I don't think it would be realistic to say, like, I don't know. I think my calendar and my busyness level is always high. So I don't think it's realistic to say, "Oh, well, I'll take all of that time away and do something else." Like, I can't foresee that in my future in the next like number of years, but obviously there's going to be a point where it could, but like thinking of what would I fill that time with is like not coming to me.
Yeah.
So I don't and I'm curious, like, what time am I, like, how much free time will I really have when I'm not working full time for my like regular full-time job, when I no longer do that? Like, what's going to be different? Yeah. I mean, I feel like I would just take my time more a little bit in the studio.
Relax.
But I'm not going to be going as hard all the time. I'll probably sleep in longer. I mean, sleeping in till 10 in the morning or 11 in the morning.
Yeah, relax during the day.
Go on a walk to the post office.
You could have early retirement and then just work from 6 to midnight.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I did talk about this at one point. Like, it would be nice to go travel around to different people's studios and be able to do that. I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to figure out the next time. I'm trying to plan with Isaac for the next trip out to his place, and the calendar is just fucking packed. Like, this time of year, all the way through October, it's just like, nope, all weekends booked. Like, I could say I don't know how that happens, but there's shows I do, there's consistent shows that I do, there's like, you know, it's not all shows, but it's like, hey, we're going to we're going to that Tiki Festival in Indianapolis. Like, that's one of the weekends.
Yeah.
You know, we got bridal showers, there's kids' birthday parties, there's tiki parties that we're hosting at our house. Like, it just adds up, you know?
Life, man. Sucks.
Oh, it's great. I love commitments. I like having all this stuff. I like having it planned out. Like, I feel like if I didn't, I don't know. Obviously, during the weeks, it's pretty free.
Mm-hmm.
So, during the week, it would definitely open up. Being able to do different things. I would probably, you know, if I didn't work my full-time, I would probably do, like, the local farmer's market.
Oh, yeah.
I'd probably sell at the local farmer's market more regularly.
Just for
I
fun.
think that would probably be something fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for fun.
Be a little
and
more
to
part
get
of the local community.
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to do that because you're not going to talk to the people you normally talk to every day, you know? You need people that you can be like, hey, every Tuesday you want to meet up and talk about business, like at the coffee shop down the way or whatever, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For
Do
sure.
a lot more soda firing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll play in bigger projects. Like, somebody was asking me a couple days ago. I was because I just got some more brick from one of the places to get some refractory materials, and he was like, "Have you thought about building a soda kiln, like a legit one, like Trevor's?" And I was like, I don't know, like, how much is involved in that? You know, you go through the building once, you got to do the, like, gas line. Like, what's involved here?
Yeah.
I get it. It's going to get to a point where it's kind of annoying. If I'm firing my little kiln, you know, every couple weeks, it would be annoying because I have to, I mean, for one, I got to take that big-ass propane tank up the hill take it
Yeah.
up to the place, get it refilled, come back down, bring it. Like, that's going to get annoying. But, you know, at what point am I going to need to build a soda kiln?
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah.
But maybe that's on the horizon of, okay, like, you know, I got to set aside time to actually do a lot of this stuff myself. And it's not, I can't delegate building a soda. I mean, I probably could.
Well,
There's probably
maybe
people
you
that build those,
should-
but
Maybe you should see how much a line would cost down to that little spot and just do the line first. You know, because you can use the line in the soda kiln you got now.
mm-hmm.
The gas line is what I'm talking about for everybody
The
else.
yeah, the natural gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because, I mean,
And then
that...
figuring out who even does that, I guess, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Whew.
Cool.
Lots of options.
Options. Look at us ending at like 11:30 your time, 10:30 my time. I
That
feel-
question was from Mallory_Elaine. Thank you for that question.
That was a
I
fun
don't know
one.
if she goes by Mallory or Elaine.
Mullane.
Malane.
Yeah.
Mallory.
Cool. Okay. Well, do you have any last words before we get off?
No, I just opened Meta something AI on accident.
Okay, Ryan.
I was trying to look up Mallory Elaine. Sorry, Mallory Jennings. Moonlight Mud. Oh, I know her. We know her. Moonlight Mud.
Yes, we do. Cool.
She's asked us questions before. All right. Thanks everybody for listening.
Thanks.
We'll catch you next time.
Enjoy your trip.
Thank you. It'll be great.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hey everybody, thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Whale Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.